This is the second of a two-part presentation on 45 strategies for finding your ancestors online. A good way to find siblings or overcome transcription errors is to search for relationships. Leave the main name and surname fields blank, or maybe you could try filling in a surname, but fill in the parents' names and or the spouses' names. And here are the results. Samantha Smith was my ancestor. This works well in Ancestry and MyHeritage, but you must specify the type of relationship. In Family Search, filling in the spouse, parents, and other field searches the whole household. Any combination of words you want to show up together, put quotation marks around them. Don't forget to reverse the first and last names to also catch websites that list the last name first. Google has dropped support for the tilde, which automatically search for synonyms as well as the term it preceded. However, Google does use a similar technique called stemming, which means it searches for a variation of the word you type in. If you type in married, Google will automatically find words that stem from it, such as marries, marry, and so forth. You can prevent stemming by putting a word in quotation marks. Wildcards, an asterisk or a question mark can be used within a word when you're not sure of a spelling. Google does not support wildcards within a word, but you can find a middle name or find a name with initials or several middle names, as in this example. Family Search and most other genealogy programs support an asterisk within a word. However, MyHeritage does not support wildcards. Use an asterisk to replace 0 to multiple unknown letters. Either the first or the last letter must be a non-wild card character. For Johnston, I could put the asterisk at the beginning or the end. Either will work, but I cannot put it at both the beginning and the end. You could use up to 4 asterisks at a time for any surname or given name. Names must be at least 3 letters. If looking for the name Aldridge, AU will not work. I would have to use the asterisk at the end or the beginning or in the middle, as long as I use 3 non-wild letters. Use a question mark to replace 1 letter, such as in Elizabeth. Google can be helpful if you haven't had success in other ways. When using Google, you don't need to use capital letters. The only capital lettering Google cares about are the Boolean operators, or, not, and. Google ignores common words like as, the, a, and, on, as well as hyphens. Apostrophes do count. There isn't the same as there. Some examples of using Boolean letters are the following. David and Williams and Kansas will find results with all 3 words. Margaret or Peggy Smith will find results containing either word. Joseph Crosby, not Bill, will find Joseph Crosby but will exclude Bill. You can use multiple operators and build on your search. If you're uncertain of a name order, take advantage of the operator around or the word near if you're using Bing. So putting William around Aldridge in the search bar will find William Tilson Aldridge, as well as Aldridge William Tilson. You can specify between 2 keywords that should appear no more than 3 words apart. So you could say around 3 or W3 or near 3 in Bing, such as in this example. I got some different results using both. Even without these tricks, Google will often give you words close to your search. This is handy if a person had several first or middle names and you wanted to try to catch them all. So for William Aldridge, if I put a W3 or the word around between the first and last name, the computer will hopefully find those records with his elusive middle names. Searching without a name is useful when searching census records, but also works with vital records. This technique works the best when searching a single database. Otherwise, you will get tons of hits. Fill in as much as you know, birth year, place, residence, but leave the name fields blank. This works in Ancestry, Find My Past, MyHeritage, and Family Search. Instead of the Boolean query words and or not, try an advanced search. Google the above address. You get the advanced Google search screen, which allows you to filter by language, by the region, choose the country where you think the record is found, the last update, site or domain means a particular site like Ancestry.com, or where you want it to appear on the page, or whether you want relevant results or explicit results, what format, or type of license such as free to share or free to use commercially and so forth. Or you can customize it here. You can put in the words you want to find, a phrase or any of these words or none of these words, and a date range. Explore one record at a time. For instance, in Ancestry, go to the card catalog. On the left, you can sort by type of collection, place, or date. In Family Search, under Records, you can click on the Collections tab and further filter it by clicking on only those you really want to see within that collection. On Find My Past, click on the A to Z record sets in either of two places. You can then filter down by country. Try combining the name of a person's spouse in quotation marks, or the place where they lived, or something about them. Try the Steve Moore's website that lets you search in a single step tons of sites including censuses, passenger lists, vital records, and more. Some of the sites may cost money and will be noted by a $sign. This site will get you to your destiny quicker and with less fuss. Families and friends didn't come alone when migrating to a new country. They often came together and would be found living close to each other. If you're having trouble finding a family's town of origin or their information, try searching their extended family or even neighbors. And sometimes they marry their neighbors, as in the case of my ancestor. Maybe the timing wasn't just right for your direct ancestor to create a record you needed. Look at other family members, including cousins, aunts, uncles, siblings, grandchildren, and so forth. Maybe your direct ancestor moved around or lived with different family members. Living with a male sibling may reveal a maiden name. If you are looking, say, for the 1920 census and can't find it, try going to a different database to look for that same census. They use different search engines, and what doesn't show up in one database may pop up in another database. And many of these programs have exclusive records that no one else has. You can have Google do the work for you. Type in google.com/alerts in the address bar and you can set up as many searches as you desire. You can choose how often you want to be notified, where you want it to get sources from, language, region, only the best results versus all the results. Google saves this search for you and you can delete it or edit it, or you can have it run another search by clicking on the name. Just because they don't have results today doesn't mean they won't have results tomorrow. Put your family tree in multiple genealogy programs, at least the 4 big ones, and let the program watch for hints for you. With millions of records added each day, something good is bound to happen sooner or later. In MyHeritage, under Instant Discoveries, the program will find whole clusters of people on your family lines. This is great for end-of-line people. They can add up to 50 people on one line. These are usually collected by people who have been researching these lines and may have sources. Your Kentucky kin may have slipped over the border to get married or do business. County boundary lines might have changed, putting your records of your ancestor in a surrounding county or state. Family Search Wiki has good information on boundary lines and when they changed. Also check other immigration ports than the one you think they may have come to. Maybe they lived in Canada for a year before their final move to Pennsylvania. Leave out the location when searching for a name. Maybe your family wasn't in the place you thought they should be. Maybe they moved temporarily to take care of family or business. Sometimes they left their state of residence to get married or join the army, or maybe have geography forced them to go out of state. We lived in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia when I was a child. We always went to Maryland or Virginia to shop or do business. It was closer. Try putting in names and dates and then adding places back in, one at a time, including surrounding states. If your ancestor had someone in their family with an unusual name, research them instead. They will be easier to find than all the common given names, and might be the key to finding the rest of the family. You don't have to fly clear around the world to see records of your ancestors. Download Google Earth to your computer. Take a walk down the streets of your ancestors' town. Look for parishes or churches. Often they will have a little yellow church icon as you move around the city. Make a note of the name of the parish and Google that name. Often records of the whole town were kept in the parishes or churches regardless of whether you were a member or not. If the record you are searching is not found online for this parish, it might be worth sending a letter or email to this parish regarding your search. They may charge you a small fee, but it will be worth it if they have the record you are looking for. Google this address to download Google Earth to your computer. If you're a little frustrated by the limitations of a particular genealogy site's search capabilities, you might want to try the cite command. Type in the word cite followed by a colon, no space, and then your website. Use this technique for seeing text that appears on a web page, not to search for indexed information in databases. When I typed in Ancestry.com, for instance, these are the results, and you can go into specific parts of Ancestry, say if you were looking for a soldier, veteran, and prisoner rolls and lists. If you need language help, type in the search bar translate.google.com. Make a list of words and tape it to the side of your computer for reference. Or if it's a whole page of words, Google will ask you if you want that translated. Of the big four, Ancestry, Family Search, Find My Past, only MyHeritage can translate over 40 languages. Or you can go into your advanced settings and just say what language you desire. Say if you could read French and just wanted to see records in that language. Google archive.org/web and you may be able to retrieve websites that you found useful at one time or another but are no longer online. Well, this concludes this exhaustive list of possible ways to search for your ancestors online. If you are still here, congratulations on making it through. You have earned a nap. Thanks for bearing with me, and have a great rest of the day.